So has all this warm weather got you itching to get outside?
Well, maybe you're a mom and you got a lot of flowers or plants you just can't wait to get outside and put in the ground, but you're just not sure where to put them. Which ones are okay in the sun, which ones are better in the shade, and then there are the trees.
So over the next several minutes, we are going to help you with some Landscaping 101. First, in today's Angie's List, we're going to talk about the cost.
Spring is a time when most of us take a second look at our homes and get busy with the honey-do list. And with the warmer weather, most of us are now heading to work outside. Homeowner Brian Nestor is no exception.
We're redesigning the entire yard on this older home. We're accentuating some features that the home has, like these mature trees, as well as covering up some cosmetic issues that have been creeping up through the years. I've got some neighbors that invest significantly into their landscaping, so I want to be a good neighbor, as well as, I value the addition of features outside the home just like I do inside the home.
Angie's List asks some highly rated landscapers to weigh in on what the homeowners can get at various budgets. So what can you get for $50?
There are several different things that can be done. One would be to install mulch in the beds, and that'll insulate the soil and hold in water. That'll also cut down on the amount of weeds. Another great thing in the springtime is to install flowers.
For $500, you can receive several applications of fertilizer and a weed control program. And for a half-acre lot, you can have your lawn mowed, trimmed, and edged weekly for 4 months.
There are a couple of different things that you need to do to prevent weeds. One of them is to apply a good pre-emergent in the fall and in the winter and make sure that that's watered in. And one of the other things that a lot of folks don't realize is that when you mow the lawn in early spring, just cutting those weeds down stresses them out, and that'll make them go away much faster.
Experts say for $5,000, a wide variety of projects are available, such as patios and retaining walls. You can also revamp a home's front foundation landscape.
If you're dreaming about a big fancy project for your landscaping, you should still talk to a landscaper even if you're unsure about your budget, because the great thing about landscaping is that they can be done in phases. So talk to the landscaper. For example, if you're thinking about doing an outdoor kitchen, instead of going all out doing it in one summer, maybe you add the fire pit this year and another element the next.
Okay, so part of your landscaping plan may include trees, or perhaps you've already got trees in your yard. You want them looking full and flourishing for years down the road. Now, Marble Life's Cleo Green spent some time with the folks at Sussex Tree to show us exactly how you can do that.
Trees provide many benefits to all of us every day. They provide cooling shade and attract birds and wildlife. They also purify our air, prevent soil erosion, and add grace and beauty to our homes and communities. But according to Sussex Tree owner Jeffrey Meredith, those sometimes centuries-old beauties need help to survive and flourish, and it all starts with plant health care.
Plant health care is a complete, comprehensive maintenance program to help maintain not only the quality of the trees, but also the overall appearance, disease treatment, insect treatment, just to promote an overall healthy appearance of the trees and make sure they're maintained and taken care of.
And who better to help care for your plants and trees than a doctor? Ryan Sims is a certified arborist or tree doctor. It's his job to inspect every tree on a homeowner's property to make sure they're healthy.
We have a list of things that we check off. We'll walk the property with you and we'll show you exactly what's going on, then we'll give you the options that you have to treat your plants and trees.
Ryan says most tree diseases are caused by fungi, which are prevalent in the spring and early summer months when the weather is rainy.
Fungus is a big thing in this area, especially if your trees have not been trimmed. They hold in a lot of moisture, start to grow a fungus, and then it gets into, the root system, and we have to come in and, we can take care of funguses as well. So it's kind of like, it's almost like a cancer in a way on some trees.
But Ryan says there is help.
Well, that's what sets us apart. We like to come out and evaluate your tree first instead of just saying, hey, we're going to take this down. We want to be able to say we can save that tree and potentially make that better for the customer.
Most of the time, if the trees can be saved, it is treated with a tree injection, which can cure several different types of problems, including nutrient deficiencies. Ryan says think of it as a person getting a needle.
Well, I tell a lot of people, if you look at a tree kind of like how we are as human beings, we go into basically the vein of the tree, and the tree will take up the chemical.
Ryan adds the tree experts use products that are environmentally friendly and effective, especially when it comes to insect and mite control.
Insect and mite control is a big deal, especially around here. We have a lot of woodland around here. People want to keep their trees looking good. Bagworms, for instance, that are usually come out in June, July. I mean, overnight, a Leland cypress or any kind of evergreen, they can completely destroy. So getting in there and getting a contact spray is a good deal.
Ryan says if proper care is taken in managing your tree's health, the chances of it needing treatment for insects damage or disease is greatly reduced, but says some trees simply can't be saved. So if you're unsure if your trees are in stress or damaged, just look up.
This time of year, you have a lot of budding. It's springtime. Trees are starting to bloom out. A lot of shrubbery starting to bloom out. If it's not blooming out and it's supposed to be, then we know there is a problem, and then we'll go for a further evaluation process with that plant or shrubbery.
And if the health and ecosystem benefits aren't reason enough, Jeffrey says healthy trees can also increase your property value by up to 15%. Experts say in the end, it only makes sense to protect your investment and nurture trees so they can be appreciated for generations to come.
Those trees gorgeous. Now the experts at Sussex Tree want to remind you to weed eat carefully. They say mowers and weed whackers can be tree enemies, nicking the bark, weakening the tree, and making an ideal entry point for disease. Another thing, according to Sussex Tree, you should mulch regularly. Pay particular attention around the base of your trees, with one exception. Don't mulch there if you live in the woodlands. Lisa?
Okay, so we have the trees covered. What about the plants and flowers? Some will work better than others depending on whether you live in the sun or the shade. So joining us today to tell us what's best for your yard is gardening expert Jenny Rosenkrantz with the University of Maryland Extension Office. Hi! I love it. We have all these beautiful flowers here,
Yes.
and we have lots of sunshine today. So let's
Yes.
start with our sun-loving plants. What's best for
Absolutely.
full sun?
Oh my gosh, there is such a choice, and I had to narrow it down to 3 because there were so many. So, well, they're absolutely beautiful. Some of them are even fragrant too. So, I mean, like, I'm going to start with the one that's right in front of me right now.
Okay.
Because it smells so good. This is dianthus, common name carnations.
Okay.
So, smells like cloves. You can walk by on a sunny day, and the fragrance is just wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And the nice thing about this is this plant is actually evergreen all through the winter. So even after it's done blooming, it still looks good. But this blooms for almost a full month.
Okay,
And
that's a
butterflies.
sun lover.
Sun lover, and
Okay.
butterflies everywhere.
Let's go on with the salvia.
Salvia. You know, there's lots of different salvias.
Yeah.
This one right here is one that will bloom in the late spring, early summer. I love the kind of almost amethyst purple color. Butterflies will just, you know, be all around it because it has all these wonderful places where they can go ahead and enjoy.
And it does well with or without water?
Yes, all of these plants are very drought tolerant. You've got to go ahead and water them the first year. Twice a week when the temperature is in the 80s, 3 times a week when it hits the 90s and above.
Okay, and the butterflies love them, of
Love
course.
them, yes.
All right, and the veronica?
Now, Veronica's really, most of the time, Veronica's real tall and stately. This is a more compact variety, but I love this blue because the blue is such a gorgeous blue. Little teeny bell-shaped flowers. Butterflies, again, are going to be all over it. And notice how when you have the blue and the pink together, they're very close on the color wheel. So they complement each other very, very well. And instead of popping, they just sort of merge together and make the garden look softer and larger.
Okay, so we have all of the sun lovers.
Yes.
Let's talk about the ones that like the shade.
Well, we have a lot of shady characters.
Okay, we have some shady characters.
Okay.
What are we starting with?
Well, the one right beside you, this beautiful white one, this is actually a bleeding heart. Bleeding heart, though, can come in pinks, reds, and also this white.
Okay.
And it's always, almost always in bloom around Mother's Day, which is so nice.
That's
I love
nice.
it.
And you want to plant these with other flowers, right? Other
Yes, you
perennials?
do.
Yeah.
The problem with the bleeding heart, I love it dearly, and it needs really rich, moist soil. But the trouble with it is that in July, it goes dormant. It says, I've done my job, I'm out of here, goodbye, and it's gone. So always plant other things around it, either in front or behind, to kind of fill up that space. It's nothing there yet.
Okay, so what do we have next in the shade lovers?
Okay, the little guy right in front of you guys.
This one right
This
here?
little one, yeah, that's a coral bells. Botanical name is heuchera. A lot of people the plant breeders cannot let these things be. So what they've done is they've come up with some beautiful foliage. Now right now we have the flowers, and the flowers are gorgeous, very dainty. They're good for a lot of the pollinators. But once the flowers are gone, the foliage is going to be gorgeous, and that foliage stays there all year long, even in the winter time.
Okay, now all the shade lovers really like good rich soil, don't they?
Yes, and moisture is key.
Moisture is
so,
key.
like where I am, I have a lot of shade, but it's dry shade, so I have to add compost, I've got to water. It's a very frustrating thing. I have to find the right spot.
Okay.
And I have one more that really demands moisture, and this is an astilbe, so this is not a native plant right here, but it's just gorgeous.
It is gorgeous.
And even when it's not in flower, after it goes to seed, it's still very, very pretty. So it adds a lot of color to your garden, line, color, form, texture, the whole 9 yards. And again, butterflies love it.
Okay, Jenny, thank you so much. Oh, it makes me so excited for spring.
Yes.
And for more gardening tips from Jenny, go to delmarvalife.com and click on the show tab. So we have the yard taken care of. How about dinner? A little later, Rachel Ray is going to help us take care of that. She shows us how in just a few minutes you can have a dish that's full of flavor. And while we're in the kitchen, the perfect bacon bowl promises to make the perfect and edible bacon bowl that can be used for a variety of savory dishes. Is it that easy? Well, we put it to the test. Don't Marvel Life. We'll be right back.